Welcome to a brand new episode of Johnson's Court. Today I'm super excited to bring you NBA basketball. Now, like I said, I haven't done a podcast yet really about NBA basketball, so this is the first one of the season, kind of. So I'm super excited to talk about the NBA because it is underway, and wow, there's just kind of a lot of things to talk about. Not just kind of crazy to see like what's happening in the season so far. Who's on top of the East? Who's on top of the West? To see who the Pacers are, see who the Lakers are. I'm just going to kind of go through a few things today. And, it's just going to be brief. But there will be a podcast coming out tomorrow with Beagle, hopefully, possibly. But we'll be talking about the NFL and our next week predictions. So get ready for that podcast as well. So first, just to get into it, the first thing I kind of want to talk about was the power rankings. So at number one, let's start at number 32. Let's see who's last in the league, power ranking wise. Come on, ESPN. Oh, I went down too far. 30, my bad. 30 teams in the NBA. So at last, you have the Oklahoma City Thunder. They are 1-5. Their power rankings 30. They are a very young team, very, very young. They had all those draft picks. They still have a lot of draft picks. So I understand why they're at number 30. 29, Detroit Pistons. Makes sense. Orlando Magic, makes sense. The Pelicans, makes sense. The Rockets at 26. Pacers come in at number 25. Now the Pacers are 1-6. They have dropped 4 straight games, so they do fall to 1-6. And it's their worst start since 2014 and 2015. The good news is, Caris LeVert finally made his season debut. I know he's coming off an injury. I'm not sure the injury of what it was, but he is finally back, so it's really good to see. Let's see, the Spurs are right ahead of them. The Clippers are at 23. They're at 1-4. Wow, I know Kawhi is not playing. Neither is Serge Ibaka or Marquise Morris, but Paul George is carrying the load. He's playing well, so it's kind of crazy to think they're 23rd. Let's see who's in the top 10. Skip these a little bit. Top 10 is the Los Angeles Lakers. Coming in, they're 4-3 on the season right now. They should definitely have a better record than what they do. I know they don't have all the players that they need. I know some players are still injured, but still, no excuses, guys. But Carmelo Anthony is playing well. It even says here he's looking good for his 6th man of the year already, and he is. He's playing very well, playing very hot in his 19th year. He has scored 20 points or more off the bench 3 times so far this season, so definitely up there for 6th man of the year. And LA is 3-0 in those games, so that's really awesome to see. When you have your 6th man of the year playing really well, scoring 20 points per game, you're 3-0 in those games, so let's see how long we can keep that up. Next, you have the Chicago Bulls at 5-1. I'm kind of surprised that they are power ranking number 9 since they are 5-1, just because with everybody on the roster and everything, you feel like they would be ranked higher. But it says that. Okay, so I feel like the reason they are at number 9 is because Patrick Williams is out for 4 to 6 months with a wrist injury, and Zach LaVine is playing through a thumb injury on his non-shooting hand, so his left thumb. And so it just makes it kind of hard, just because your best player right now is kind of playing through injury. You have a big man that's out, but you guys have a bench, and so I definitely think the Bulls should be ranked higher. Then you have Philadelphia 76ers at 4-2, ranked 8th. Ben Simmons isn't even playing. Joel Embiid's knee is hurt, it says here, so I kind of don't know how they're ranked above the Bulls. The Knicks are number 7 5-1. I can definitely say they are playing very well. They're on a 4-way tie for the best record in the East, so that's really, really awesome to see. Like I said, I'll get into the records as well here. That's why I'm kind of just going through these power rankings. The Denver Nuggets are 6. Jamal Murray isn't even back yet, so I'm super excited that when he comes back. So you got the Milwaukee Bucks at 3-4. And of course, they're a powerhouse, so I understand. The Warriors are 5-1, so it makes sense why they're up there. They don't even have Klay Thompson yet, but they are playing really, really well. The Brooklyn Nets at 4-3. James Harden has got off to a shaky start, but Kevin Durant, the whole team has been playing well. Miami Heat at 5-1. Their power ranking is 2nd. So Jimmy Butler's averaging 25.3 points right now. And that's why it says Miami plays with such an edge. But then number 1 is the Utah Jazz, and I can definitely see them being in the top 3. Absolutely, I can definitely see them being number 1. They were the last undefeated team before losing to the Bulls just this past Saturday. Let's see here. Rudy Gobert became the first player in NBA history to record at least 16 points and 14 rebounds in each of the first 5 games of the season. So, I mean, they're playing well. They have a lot of returning players. They play with the same players every single year. I know they have like 10-plus players that are back on the team. So, to see Utah's Jazz number 1, it definitely does make sense. They are 5-1. And that just kind of leads me to my next segment is the NBA standings. So, we'll start with the West and go in the East just because the East is just so crazy this year. At number 15, you do have the Oklahoma City Thunder, so totally not surprised there. Pelicans are 14, the Rockets are 13, Spurs at 12, Clippers at number 11, not even in the playoffs right now. The Suns are not either at 2-4. They went to the finals last year. Wow. Trailblazers are number 9. The Kings are 3-3. The Kings always start off hot. So do the Timberwolves, and then they always work their way out. So I'm not too worried there. The Nuggets are number 6 at 4-3. The Grizzlies are 4-3 at number 5. Now, the way Ja Morant is playing in that team, they can definitely have a better record and definitely not have to worry about playing in the play-in tournament this year. I'm going to say that because I don't think they will play in the tournament this year because of just the way that they're playing. Then you have the Lakers at number 4. Like I said, they should have a better record. I know they got to figure it out. I know LeBron rested 2 games, but it doesn't matter. AD got hurt a little bit, But I think it's Russell. Russell needs to be playing better, especially if you're going to have a guy like him coming in and playing. He needs to be playing tip-top shape. I know every team he's kind of went to, like he's had that little, not played so well and then played later in the season, but I need to see that happen all season long. You got the Mavericks at 4-2. Kind of surprised that they're 4-2 just because, I don't know. Sometimes, just the way they play, and when I watch them, I'm like, man, this team is really 4-2. But hopefully, I know Porzingis is out right now, so hopefully he does get back in the lineup to help Luka and the rest of that team out. You get the Warriors at number 2 at 5-1. So let's see. I am kind of surprised about this, but at the same time, I'm not surprised about this. I am surprised because it's the Warriors. You always have high expectations for them just because. It's Curry, it's the Warriors, but they don't have Klay Thompson right now. But they still got Draymond, they got Andrew Wiggins. James Wiseman is not playing right now either. So for them to be able to be 5-1, it's just crazy to see that they're number 2. I think they definitely make the playoffs this year. Could, see them dropping, but with Klay Thompson returning, hopefully. And sorry guys, man, I just woke up about 25 minutes ago. They definitely have, like I said, a chance to make the playoffs with Klay Thompson coming back, especially. And the way Curry's playing this year, I think he is averaging the most points per game. I think Ja Morant's tied with him or a point behind. And then that leaves me with the Utah Jazz at number 1. They're 5-1, so the same record as the Warriors. They're 4-0 in their conference. They're 2-0 at home. They're 3-1 away. So the only team they've lost to is the Chicago Bulls. The Jazz is the best team in the West so far, and they might be the best team in the league, so let's find out here. But kind of cool to see, this is just what it is right now after the first 6-7 games in the season right now. With the Kings being number 8, the T-Wolves are in the playoffs right now, if they started today. Playing tournament, I guess, But to see the Suns aren't even in it, that's kind of crazy to think that they made the NBA Finals last year and they're not. So we'll see what the Suns can do this year for sure. And that leads me over to the Eastern Conference. So, number 15 is the Detroit Pistons at 1-5. I feel embarrassed to say this, but the Pacers are 2-6. They got off to a slow start, but I think they can definitely fix that, and they can definitely be in the playoff tournament for sure this year. It just sucks because, you just get off to a slow start, and, you kind of dig yourself a hole. But they're going to get out of the hole. So I'm not worried about that whatsoever. Then the Magic, the Boston Celtics. Wow, they're 2-5. They're not playing too well this year. I didn't realize that. The Bucks are 3-4. They're 11th. They're not even in the playoffs this year right now. The Cavs have a record at 4-4. The Hawks are 4-3. The Nets are 4-3, so they're the 8th seed right now. So it's kind of crazy to think. You got the Hornets in front of them, 5-3. But LaMelo and that team has been playing very, very well this season just to start out. The Raptors are 5-3. They didn't make the playoffs last year, so maybe they have something to prove this year. The Wizards are 5-2, and that's without Russell Westbrook, and that's adding Kyle Kuzma. So, what do you guys think? That's kind of funny to think that they're 5-2. Then 76ers are 5-2, even without Ben Simmons playing. The Knicks are 5-2, so it's really cool to see how the Knicks are playing this year. They're definitely an exciting team to watch with everything that they have going on. The Heat are 5-1, really awesome to see. They're playing well right out of the gate. They're 3-0 at home, so they're one of the Hawks are 3-0, and the Wizards are 3-0. So hey, home court advantage really does matter, ladies and gentlemen. Then you have the Bulls right here at 6-1. They had the best record in the NBA. They did play last night, so that's kind of why, or they were 1-5. But they're 6-1. They're 3-0 away, actually. They're 3-1 at home. So kind of funny to see, you know, on a road, like they have a better road record than they do a home record. So, you know, it just, you know, really says a lot about you as a team. DeRozan is playing well. You know, Levine's playing well, Vukovic, like that whole team is playing well. So it's super excited to see the Chicago Bulls and all those Chicago Bulls fans out there, B, Stud, you know, just everybody that the Bulls are finally playing well. And so to see them playing well, I mean, I know you guys, you know, really, you know, sometimes have bad years, you know, you're coming up, you know, you're just like waiting to break out. And this could possibly be the year, guys. Definitely a playoff team for sure. I mean, you are the number 1 seed in the East right now. But let's see how you can keep that up over an 82-span year. So with that being said, I'm just going to talk about the 2 best teams in the league right now, which is the Chicago Bulls and the Utah Jazz. The team leader in points right now is DeMar DeRozan at 25.6. DeMar DeRozan is one of my favorite players. I love to play with him on 2K. I just like his game. I loved when he was on the Raptors. And to see that he's really pulling out on the Bulls and how they went and got him, you know, it really says a lot about the Bulls front office. You got Vukovic with 10.9 rebounds right now. Levine is averaging 4.9 assists. And Caruso is averaging 2.6 steals. And so it's like really cool to see that, you know, this team is playing really well. And Lonzo is averaging 1.1 blocks. So get that out of here, ladies and gentlemen, because this team is looking hot. This team is looking nice. You know, you're starting, your starting 4 is leading your points, rebounds, assists, and blocks. Caruso, I guess, can start sometimes, but he comes off the bench. But 2.6 steals, that team is playing very good defense. Because, let's see, Vukovic is averaging 1 block per game. Derrick Jones Jr. is averaging 1.7. Tony Bradley is averaging 1.3. So like I said, these blocks are on it. Let's see, steals-wise, Caruso at 2.6, Lonzo Ball at 1.9, Vukovic at 1.6. So yeah, look at that. Look at, like, defensive team. Defense does win your games, guys. Let's see, Levine's averaging 25.6. So kind of they're like really averaging the same amount of points. So it's really cool to see DeRozan and Levine both being able to be your first option. You know, Vukovic at 15, Lonzo Ball has 12. You know, it doesn't really matter. You know, as long as you have, you know, players scoring, DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine scoring your most points. You know, Lonzo's with the blocks, Caruso's with the steals out here because he's averaging 8.3 points per game. So it's really awesome to see. I do know that Patrick Williams did go down. He was averaging 6.6 points per game, 2.2 rebounds, 0.6 steals, 0.4 blocks. But, you know, it's just one of those things where, you know, injuries do happen, but the rest of your team does have to step up. So with that being said, the Bulls are definitely playing well this year. They're one of the most exciting teams to watch, and I'll keep saying that all year long as the majority of their starting 5 does stay healthy. They are the most exciting team to watch in the NBA this year. And that's not only on the East, but on the West as well. So like I said, I love the Bulls right now. I love what they're doing. I'm not necessarily like a Bulls fan. I'm a Pacers fan. But, you know, we're off to a crappy start this year. So sometimes I don't even want to watch them. I just want to watch the Bulls. Wow. But that just leads me into my next one. So the Utah Jazz. Utah Jazz they're 5-1 as well. So they're the best record in the West. Donovan Mitchell is averaging 23 points per game. Rudy Gobert is averaging 17.2 rebounds a game. I mean, let me repeat that, ladies and gentlemen. 17.2. That's 3 rebounds shy. 3 rebounds shy of 20 rebounds per game. That's a lot of rebounds per game, ladies and gentlemen. Donovan Mitchell is averaging 4.7 assists per game. So not only is he shooting, but he's dishing. O'Neal is averaging 1.8 steals per game. And Rudy's averaging 1.7 blocks per game. So you can see right here that you see that's why they're the best team in the West. And they lost to the best team in the East, and that's okay. That game could only either way. So Donovan Mitchell, like I said, 23 points per game. Jordan Clarkson coming off the bench as 6th man, averaging 16.5. That's huge, ladies and gentlemen. He's in the running for it with LaMelo for 6th man of the year. LaMelo might have maybe more points, I'm not sure. But 16.5, Jordan Clarkson is a huge addition. He did come from the Lakers, and he's played well in the Utah Jazz system. So I love that. I love him as a player, and I love how he's been able to play on the Utah Jazz. Rudy Gobert is averaging 16.3. I mean, when he's a center, he's that tall. He's averaging 17.2 rebounds per game. He's able to just put it back. He's getting fouled. So that makes sense on why he has that many points. Bojan Bogdanovic, he's averaging 16.2 as well. And then Mike Conley, he is playing now. He's averaging 13.6. So let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 players are averaging above 10 points. 5 players averaging but 10 points. Now that's a lot. That's crazy because normally you have like 2 players averaging above, 20 points, or you have 1 player that's averaging like 25 or more, and then maybe the rest of the players are averaging like 12 or like lower, or maybe 15 or lower. So to see that they're averaging this many points means they are scoring a lot of points per game. And just to watch them and how they play, they kind of remind me of like the Spurs ball movement a little bit. The Spurs were like just different with Greg Popovich, but they do play team basketball. That's why the Jazz have been playing so well. Yeah, sometimes in certain moments, you're playing one-on-one, Donovan Mitchell, you're doing this and doing that. But he's averaging 4.7 assists. It's not like he's holding on to the ball and being a ball hog. Like I said, 1.7 or 1.8 steals from O'Neal. Donovan Mitchell's averaging 1.5 steals, and Mike Conley's averaging 1.4. So look at this team right here. I didn't even talk about Joe Ingles on that team. I didn't even talk about Hassan Whiteside. They also got Eric Paschall from the Warriors, so it's like, wow. This team is a playoff team for sure, but then it's like sometimes like when the playoffs come, they just like don't do what they're supposed to do. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about this team. But it's like, look, this team has a shot to go to the finals. And if they don't go to the finals this year, I don't know what you do. And like reminds me of the Trailblazers, like keep the same pieces, but it's like something has to change. Something has to get you over that hump. So, wow. The Utah Jazz being the number 1 seed in the West. I love to see that. And the Bulls being the number 1 seed in the East. Now, I have to talk about them. To let you guys know, the Pacers are at 2-6. They're 4th in their division. They're 15, 16 in the East. They just make me want to like cuss. Like I just want to have cuss words just flowing out of my mouth right now. But like I know it's like not appropriate, not professional, so I'm not gonna do that. But angrily, I do want to do that because it's like I have higher expectations for this team. We're not meeting expectations, not only from a fan standpoint, but probably from a front office standpoint. You're 2-6. You've got to change that. You have to change that. So Malcolm Brogdon is averaging 23.4 points per game. Sabonis is averaging 21.3. Chris Durant, who is our rookie coming out of Oregon, I believe, or UCLA, 1 and 2, averaging 17.8. So he's taking a lot of shots. He's playing a lot of minutes this year. Actually, he's playing 34.8 minutes this year, 3rd among the team. Caris LeVert did just make a season debut, so he had 15.5 points. Miles Turner, 13.3, had a 40-point game, I know, and it's probably in a loss. I don't know, it could have been a win. But Jeremy Lamb's averaging 10. We didn't even talk about Torrey Craig's playing, and he's got 6.3 points, but he is doing well on, like he played in that the other night, and he was cooking, he was doing pretty well. But, we don't have T.J. Warren playing yet, so hopefully we get him back soon. But Sabonis is averaging 11.4 rebounds. McConnell's averaging 5.5 assists. He's a really good passer, so I'd love to see that. Sabonis 1.8 steals, and Turner at 2.9 blocks. He did lead the league in blocks, I think, last year, the year before that. Right now he's 2nd in the league behind Robert Williams, I think, on the Celtics. But with this team and just the expectations you have, okay, so let's see here. The top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 players averaging 13.3 points or more. 5 players. And your record is 2-6. That means your defense has to be horrible. You have to be letting them score a lot of points per game. I was watching last night, and the announcers were saying the Pacers are one of the highest turnover teams in the league, and teams are scoring off that. Yes, you can have turnovers, but if they don't score, then it doesn't affect you that much. But if they're scoring a lot of points, that affects you a bunch. So the Pacers just need to turn it around. Let's see, do they play tonight? They don't play tonight, but I'm going to look at their schedule real quick, and we're just going to predict maybe the next 3 games. So they play at the nope, that already happened. They play the Knicks on Wednesday. I really wanted to go to that game, but I'm not going to go to that game. That'd be a really good game. Tickets are as low as $9, so who knows? You might see me there. Then they play the Trailblazers. Ooh, then they go on a road stand to Portland, Sacramento, Denver, Utah. That's going to be a hard stretch right there. So we need to get this win at home critical. And then out of the 4 road games, Orlando probably lose. Sacramento should win. Denver, iffy. And the Jazz probably lose. So we should at least go 2-2 over that road game. We'll see what happens. But you never know. But wow, ladies and gentlemen, this is just crazy. Pacers shouldn't be like that. But each season is different. Every season is new. So we'll just see what happens. But final thing I just want to talk about, wrap up, is the games that are tonight. This video should post today. It may or may not post a little bit later in the day, depending. I do have to go to work here at noon. It's 11:38. So don't know if it's going to upload by then or not, but we'll just see what happens. So at 7 p.m. tonight, the Bucks are playing the Detroit Pistons. Milwaukee should win that one. Got a money line. Miami Heat is coming in, and they're playing the Dallas Mavericks. That's on TNT tonight. I'll be driving home when that game's on. That should be a good game. I feel like Miami's going to win that game. Then at 9 o'clock, you have Sacramento Kings playing Utah Jazz. The Sacramento Kings have been playing well this year. They are 3-3, so they are at 500. This should be a good game. I do see the Utah Jazz winning, maybe by the point spread, because they could lose this game. And then you got the New Orleans Pelicans coming in and playing the Phoenix Suns. That is on TNT, so I probably will definitely watch that game for sure. Like the Pelicans still from AD being on there, and I do like the Devin Booker and the Suns and Chris Paul. Shout out Dennis. So the Suns should win that game. And then you have the Rockets playing LA Lakers again at 10:30. Should be an easy win, but the Lakers do sometimes disappoint me and surprise me and just do dumb crap. So it should be a win for them, but we will see, ladies and gentlemen. So that being said, I got the Bucks, the Heat, the Jazz, the Suns, and the Lakers. So hopefully I go 5 for 5 tonight. We'll see what happens. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. This is like the first episode of like the NBA season that's kind of officially started. Like I said, I did want to make that episode, and so now I have made it, so it's awesome. Maybe I'll make one next Tuesday or something. We'll see like what happens. But there is a podcast coming out. It'll be coming out on Thursday morning. But I'll be making one tomorrow night, so I'm super excited for that. So stay tuned and get ready. And thank you.